No, I'm not some explorer or some bandit. It's just a COVID mask. And they were making us wear them while we ate our lunch. For our meeting. We actually got to take them off before we ate. It's hard to eat with a mask on. Been looking for you. It's now time for our very last section of the Unit 1 notes. In the last video, we talked about some of these explorers, like Amerigo Vespucci, Giovanni Caboto, and now we're going to wrap up the last of Unit 1's notes so that we can work on our study guide and our test for all of Unit 1. I have my computer up to show you because I have to get your brain going. Look at that. I'm going to tell you about the swap meet in Hawaii. Right there's a picture of it from Aloha Stadium. The swap meet. The best way for you to understand the swap meet in Honolulu is to just tell you that it's the biggest yard sale that you've ever seen. The whole stadium, parking lot for Aloha Stadium in Hawaii for the University of Hawaii's football team. Twice a month, I think on Tuesdays, maybe it's Thursdays, I'm not sure, they open that up to this humongous yard sale, and there are tents and vendors set up everywhere. When I was in Hawaii 10 years ago, I got to go to this swap meet. I went to Hawaii because my uncle was there and his wife, and they were stationed in Honolulu while he was in the Navy. So I was able to fly out there and stay with them and visit them, and got to explore the island of Oahu while I was there. And we had a lot of fun.
There will be a leadership meeting in Ms. Chuka's room at this time.
Sorry about that. They were just making an announcement there. Had to wait. My uncle told me he was working that day, so my wife and I were going to go to this swap meet, and we were really excited about it because, you know, all women love to shop, and I just wanted to go to see what it was like. So my uncle told me, now before you go, I want to warn you about the swap meet. There's no prices on anything. I said, what do you mean? And he said, nothing's priced. You have to haggle or barter, argue, negotiate for the price. And I said, oh, I'll be good at this. So we went to this swap meet, and we walked around all day, and I did find one thing I really liked. I walked into this one tent area, and I found a really cool toboggan. Now, this is not it. This is a Glenville State College toboggan. But the toboggan that I liked 10 years ago, it had like a little tribal motorcycle on it. And so I asked the lady working in there, she was Hawaiian, Polynesian, Samoan, or something of that nature. I said, how much is that toboggan? And she said, $10. And I said, whoa, I'm not paying that. She said, 2 for 20, 2 for 20. Give you 2 toboggans for $20. And I almost bid. I almost bid on it. And then I realized, well, that's still $10 a piece. She got me, almost had me. And I went, I'm not paying for that. I said, you got to sell it to me for $9. And she went, $9. No, I'll sell you 2 for 18. And I went, oh, and then I caught myself again. This woman was tricky. I said, no. I'm not paying that. And I waited for her to say something. She never counter-offered. And because I didn't know what else to do, I walked out. I was like, okay, see you later. and I walked out of there and I said, I don't have my toboggan. I want my toboggan. So I went back into that shop later and I walked in and I said, look, lady, I said, I'm only going to give you $8 for that toboggan. And she went, not going to do it. She said, I'll sell you 2 for 16. And this time I said, deal. Because in my mind, I done haggled her down from $10 of toboggan to where I was getting two toboggans for $8 a piece. And I figured that I could use one and I'd give Indy one. So I had 2 toboggans. I gave her 16 bucks and I walked out of there. Boy, I was a happy man. In honor of that purchase, I'm gonna wear my toboggan. Plus, it's freezing cold in this room. So I never did really figure out why they were selling toboggans in Hawaii anyway. I mean, it's 82 degrees there all the time. I really don't know why they would ever need a toboggan in Hawaii. But I knew I was coming back to cold West Virginia. I was happy. I walked into my uncle's house that evening, and he said, how'd y'all do at the swap meet? And I said, oh, I did good. I said, look, man, I got this really cool travel motorcycle toboggan. I said, I only paid $8 for it, man. I got 2 of them for $8 a piece, 16 bucks. He started laughing. He started laughing and said, I bought the same toboggan up there last week for $3. He said, you don't know how to negotiate. I was really bummed. I guess I don't know how to negotiate. I can't haggle for prices like some of you guys can, or I just normally just go in and pay the price if I want to buy it. Now, the reason why I talked about that swap meet is because, you know, you swap prices for goods at that huge outdoor yard sale. You swapped money for something you wanted. And that reminds me of the Columbian Exchange that was started by Christopher Columbus. So now we have to get to our notes, and I want you to take good notes. The last thing you should have in your notes was Ferdinand Magellan, the explorer who gets credited for being the first to sail around the world. Remember, Magellan was Gellan. Now this essential question says, well, how did the Columbian Exchange affect Europe and the Native Americans? Well, you can pause this and write this down. But remember, Columbus brought things back to Europe from the New World. He brought things from the New World back to Europe. And it introduced new plants and animals, foods, and unfortunately diseases to both Europe and the New World. And I highlighted that diseases and put a frowny face there because we all know that the diseases that the Europeans exposed the Native Americans to, the Native Americans didn't have their immunity wasn't built up like the Europeans. And the Native Americans, many of them died from being exposed to these diseases like smallpox that came over from Europe. And it was really sad. I have a little chart here for us to look at. Diseases right there weren't the only thing. Let me get it focused there. But you can see that some of the plants from the New World that Europe had never seen before, they weren't native to Europe. Columbus brought these back over to the Europeans. So one of the things that look at that, a pumpkin. It's pumpkin season. One of the things that Europeans had never seen was a pumpkin. I don't know about you, but we go from the 4th of July. We go 4th of July, Labor Day, pumpkin season, then Halloween, then Thanksgiving. Pumpkin stuff is everywhere. Now, Kate Uten, your mom and I talk about this all the time. You know, I like pumpkin pie as well as the next guy. But it should stop there. We got pumpkin lattes, pumpkin Pop-Tarts, pumpkin Oreo cookies. I mean, we're just sick of this. Some of it's disgusting. And get this, I read the other day, Kraft Macaroni and Cheese has introduced a new flavor for this pumpkin season holiday. It's called Kraft Mac and Cheese Pumpkin and Spice. Ugh! That just sounds nasty to me. Now, Layla Tompkins says she's going to try this. So, Layla, that's your homework. Layla, you go buy this macaroni and cheese that's pumpkin spice flavored and you try it out. And then you come back to school and you give us your verdict on it. It just sounds awful. So, Mrs. Uten, if you're out there, I guess you're watching this. We can blame Christopher Columbus for this, really and truthfully, because he was the one that brought back pumpkins from the New World, introduced them to Europeans, and the pumpkin-flavored stuff has been with us ever since. But anyway, the pumpkin wasn't the only thing that Columbus brought back from the New World to Europe. And of course, there were many things that were brought over from Europe that the Native Americans in the New World had never seen before either. Now, I'm not going to test you on any of that, but I just wanted you to realize that that's what this Columbian exchange was. New plants, animals, and diseases exchanged between Europe and the New World. All right, let's go to the next one. Now, just like countries of Europe were trying to search for an all-water route to India, once the New World was discovered and explored, some countries of Europe were searching for what was called the Northwest Passage, the famous Northwest Passage. They wanted to try to find an all-water route through the Americas. Does it exist? I'm going to show you a map. Let's take a look. Here's a map. Where is it? Look for an all-water route, if you can find it, that goes all the way through the Americas somewhere. I can't hold my phone still enough. Well, you could try to come up the Mississippi River right here, if I can ever get my pen to it. Oh no, but it's not. It's going to go up in here and stop. There is none. An all-water route through the Americas, it did not exist. But remember, these early explorers didn't have GPS, Google Earth. They didn't have that stuff. They were just trying to explore and find it. Now, we all know that down here, if I can get my pen there, there is an all-water route now, right through Panama, right there. It's known as the Panama Canal. But in this time in history, the explorers were searching for this Northwest Passage. It did not exist. So if you need to pause this, I've moved. Oh, excuse me. There we go. Got it all fixed. Where is it at? It's not there because it did not exist. Now, we only have a few vocabulary words here. The Columbia's exchange, or swapping. That's why I told you about the swap meet. It's the swapping or the exchange of goods, and I had to put diseases in there too, between Europe and the New World. Unfortunately, the diseases were very harmful to the Native Americans who lived over here. The Northwest Passage, it's famous. It was supposedly an all-water route through America, but it was not there. It did not exist. One of the explorers that became famous trying to find this Northwest Passage was Henry Hudson. He was an explorer hired to look for the Northwest Passage, and in doing so, he explored the St. Lawrence River area of North America. Hudson Bay is named after him. And we can look at this map. Right there's Hudson Bay. Oh, he had ships all down in Hudson Bay looking for an all-water route. He explored that whole area and made maps of it. So Hudson Bay gets its name from Henry Hudson. And I took my highlighter and highlighted down through the St. Lawrence River up in North America that goes down into Lake Erie there and Niagara Falls. But he made maps as he explored all of that area as well. Of course, he didn't find the Northwest Passage, but he was able to explore many parts of Canada and the upper North America in the process. Famous explorer, Henry Hudson. Now that concludes all of the notes of Unit 1. I'm going to put some assignments in there for us to do. We're going to work on a study guide that talks about all of these explorers and what happened. There's going to be a Unit 1 test in there that you can take and submit. I also have like a little quiz about the explorers for you to take. It's through Microsoft Office form. So once you go to Microsoft Office, click that link, it'll take you to the form. Make sure you submit it, but to let me know you did that, in the assignment box in Schoology, just type in, "I am done." And then that way it'll come to me and notify me that you took that quiz, and I can go look for it in my Office 365 forms. If you don't let me know in that, it's like this, Schoology and Office 365 are not connected. So in your Schoology assignment, once you finish that little quiz about the explorers, just put, "I am done." It submits to me, then I know you did it on Office 365 and I can go look for it. So, until then, stay safe out there, and I'll see you back in school again very, very soon. This is Coach Eads. Peace out.